Hey guys, this is Brandy and welcome back to Astro-Tarot Research, and we have another pick a card for you guys today. And today's pick a card is, what will my future spouse think of me the first time we meet? So your future spouse's first impression of you, maybe what they'll do, what they say, what they'll just kind of think and feel. Will it be love at first sight? Will you guys grow into it? We're going to find out. So we have 5 piles for you guys to choose from. We have 1, we have present silver, we have 2, we have present blue, and then we have 3. So sit back, relax, and choose, and we're going to get started on your reading. And don't forget, information for private readings is in the description box below. My readings start at $15, and remember, prices will go up at the end of the year, so get your reading in before that. And also, if you guys didn't see the last video I did for your upcoming future week, then go check that out, as well as help me figure out a name for you guys. Maybe I'll do a poll and give some names, but for now, I need some suggestions before I even get to that poll. But let's get started on this reading and go. Okay, so if you guys have chosen pile number 1, let's just get started on your reading, all right? So this is what your future spouse will think of you when they first meet. Ooh, we have the Star. We have the Ace of Cups, so maybe it is love at first sight for you and your future spouse. We have the 5 of Pentacles, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. So this is very clear to me. Your future spouse will think you are amazing. Whenever I get the Star card, you kind of get someone who maybe looks like a celebrity, or just looks like someone who's very impressive, or looks like someone who is a little bit out of their league, out of their reach, you know what I mean? They're just like, oh my God, look at that person. That person looks incredible. And they'll instantly kind of like have a crush on you, or just at least be like attracted to you in some way with the Ace of Cups here. That just kind of just means they have this sort of, I don't know what you feel, you know, that fuzzy kind of feeling when they see you. That's kind of like what they'll think of when they see you. They'll just automatically be like, oh my God, that person's so attractive. I have like butterflies in my stomach, or something like that. When we have the 5 of Pentacles, it kind of just goes back to what I said with the Star. It's like saying this person is like a little bit out of reach, out of their league. So they're going to think that you're like way too attractive to even like want to consider being with them. They're going to think you don't want anything to do with them, that you would just kind of look over them, not even bother with them. They're just going to find you just be that attractive and impressive. And with the Wheel of Fortune, it kind of means they kind of either feel like they want to keep things moving, like they kind of feel like, oh my gosh, there's no way I stand a chance. I'm just going to keep going about my day. I'm going to keep this path, you know, turning. The wheels keep going on and on and on. And they kind of feel like, they're going to feel like if it's meant to be, you know, our paths will cross again, or something like that. They're not going to think to sort of shoot their shot right then and there. They're just going to wait till later. Or kind of move on, or think, you know, that was some kind of happenstance chance, like that I happened to meet someone like you. But they're going to definitely be like a more shy person when they first come in contact with you. They just won't know what to do. But let's clarify this sort of Wheel of Fortune here, okay? And the 5 of Pentacles as well. Okay, so we have the 7 of Pentacles clarifying the 5 of Pentacles, and then we have the Knight of Wands clarifying the Wheel of Fortune. So that kind of says pretty much what I said, where they're going to wait. When we have the 7 of Pentacles, we have sort of like a waiting period. Wait to see what happens. Wait to see what comes up next. Wait to see how this person reacts, how this person may come into your life again. Maybe there's this like certainty that they'll see you again. Maybe they'll meet you in some sort of work environment, or some environment where they just feel like they're going to bump into you again. Whether that's like you guys know similar people, you know, the same social you have the same sort of social group, or you guys go to similar places, or maybe this person knows you through someone else. Whatever it is, this person kind of feels like they're just going to see you again. So at the moment, they're going to be like, I'm not going to talk to this person, but they kind of feel like they do need to talk to you soon, because when we have the Wheel of Fortune and the Knight of Wands, it does represent speed. I just know that they won't talk to you that exact moment. They'll just kind of feel like, oh, I'll run into this person a different time and I can, you know, shoot my shot then or something like that. They just really feel a little bit, not overwhelmed, but just excited. They feel excited when they see you, and they feel like, oh my gosh, this is a very impressive person. This is a person who I definitely want to get to know better, a person who I need to go talk to, but at the moment I just can't like either muster up the courage, because sometimes when we have the Knight of Wands, we have someone who needs a little bit of encouragement. Like they'll go through these periods where they're like, oh my god, I can do anything, I'm on top of the world, nothing can stop me. And then they'll go through periods where they're like, actually I'm kind of feeling kind of down and not that confident, and I need that boost of ego. I need that someone to validate me. I need someone to make me feel better. So it's like Knight of Wands doesn't have like this strong, steady confidence all the time. It's just very like up and down, because it's the Knight of Wands. So they're still learning and growing and still trying to know more about themselves. So they don't have that full confidence in themselves. So that's why your spouse won't approach you when you guys first meet. But I think they're going to approach you the second time, and you guys are going to meet pretty quickly after that, considering that we have the Wheel of Fortune, and they just have this, they just know that you guys are going to meet after. I don't know why, but they just like, okay, we're going to bump into each other again eventually soon, somehow, all right? So that is what I'm getting for you, pile number one. They're just going to think that you're really a good-looking person, someone out of their league, someone who might be a little bit like artistic, someone who's very charming, someone who's like very social, someone who they think, oh my god, I don't stand a chance, stand a chance. So you might just be significantly better looking than your spouse, or your spouse just might be not very confident in general, at least when they first meet you. They just really get this feeling that I don't know, maybe you come off like very kind and generous. Maybe they see you helping someone out, because when we have the Star card, it is associated with Aquarius, and when you think about Aquarius, it's like that humanitarian card. And when we have the Ace of Cups, it's kind of like giving someone love, giving someone nurturing, giving someone help, like in an emotional sort of sense. And then we have the Five of Pentacles, which is like someone being left out in the cold, someone needing to not having their needs met, someone needing someone to help them out. So they may see you like someone helping someone out when you first meet them, and they're like, oh my god, this person is just like beautiful and sweet and incredible. Like how did I you know, not meet this person before? Like how did I get so lucky to see them now, or something like that. But yeah, they're just going to be in awe. All right. So that is what I have for you, pile number one. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. I have private readings, and there's a whole bunch of stuff with astrology. So if you're into that, follow me there. Look at community posts, and don't forget to subscribe. So see you guys next time, and bye. Something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. Now we're on to you, pile number two. Did not mean for that to like rhyme, okay? But we have the Hanged Man here. We have the Ten of Pentacles. We have the Ten of Swords, and we have the Four of Wands. Interesting. So when your spouse first see you, their first impression of you, what will they think? It's interesting to me that we have two tens. So tens kind of represent a sign of like coming to a head, coming to completion, a new beginning, as well as independence and leadership. So there's something about you that's going to come off very independent, someone who's doing their own thing, someone who's very like strong-willed, and someone who sort of takes the world, not the world by storm, just kind of goes through the world being very independent, not to themselves, but just knowing what they want and having like a clear sort of vision of where they are trying to go, okay? So I don't know if you're going to be alone, or if you're going to be with like a group of people and you just come off as like the leader, which that may be more likely. When we have the Hanged Man, we have someone who is making a sacrifice for a bigger purpose, a larger purpose at hand, all right? So I feel like your future spouse is going to sort of get this impression of you that you're like the leader of like whatever group that you're in, and that you're sort of like taking care of everyone else in that group. So I don't know where they're going to see you, whether that's kind of just like out and about, whether they see you at some sort of, I don't know, social gathering, which is quite possible when we have the Four of Wands here. And then we have two tens, which tens can kind of, for me personally, they represent some sort of foundation, some sort of building up to something. Like when we have the Ten of Swords, we have something that's like, okay, it's always kind of showing someone like lying down, like they're in their grave or something, which is like a foundation. If you think astrology wise, the fourth house represents your grave, and the fourth house often represents one of your pivotal foundational points. It is your home. It's like your place of substance. It's your roots. As well as when we have the Ten of Pentacles, for me, that also represents home environment as well. But it also does have a Capricorn energy, which would be like the 10th house, which is a house opposite to the fourth house, which is like success, a higher plane, my goals, my reputation, what I'm aiming to achieve. And so something about this environment is like very like rooted, like it's like, this is like, I mentioned that because it's like I'm thinking of a company because of those readings, like a company, a building, a place where people can form roots, can form foundations that they go to every day. I hope that makes sense. Like that's how like my brain is thinking. Sometimes I can't like say it correctly, and so people are like, where'd you get that from? So I hope that sort of makes sense to you. So it's like you guys will meet at some place that people plant their roots in, which people can probably work there for long periods of time, with the Ten of Swords here, as well as the Hangman. I forgot about the Hangman almost as well, but it's like a long period of time that some people would work at, which made me think of like a company or a building or like a hotel, places people have receptions, places people sort of, a church or something like that. Granted, I mean, I think the Pope would have came up, or the Hierophant, whatever you want to call it, would have came up for the church, but something that's like very, very stable, okay? Something that's not like outdoors. Hey, this is a park, you know what I mean? Like you guys aren't meeting in a park, okay? So whatever that social gathering, social event is, whether it's like a hotel or a bar or a goodness gracious, I'm trying to think of places, a bowling alley. I don't know where you guys are gonna meet, but it's just a place that people don't usually work at bowling alleys for a long time. What's a job that people go to that people work at for a long time, like a bank or something like that? Those are usually longer term positions. Not like an ice cream parlor. Think of jobs that typically people don't work part-time at. Think of things people try to make a career out of, and then think of like an environment people would work for towards that. And don't think of things like airline or pilot, because that'll be in the air or whatever. But whatever it is, the person, whoever your spouse is, they're just saying that they kind of see that you in particular, they think you're going to really sort of stand out in this environment. And for them, they're going to see you with a lot of people, and they're going to think that you are very successful. They're going to think that you are a very patient person. Maybe someone around you is being obnoxious and they see that you're holding it together. They're going to think that you're the type of person who may worry a little bit. Someone who, I don't know why I had a list there, but someone who wants to kind of like take care of others and make sure everyone else is fine, and someone who may not take care of themselves in the same way. Like you're the person, they see you as someone who is catering to other people, more so catering to themselves. Not to say that you look like sloppy or something like that. No, I'm not getting that impression. It's more like they just see you taking care of other people. So something about you is coming off very like grounded and nurturing to them, and very independent and very like strong-willed, as well as like you give off a very like happy vibe, okay? Like they're gonna see you as very like upbeat, despite all the craziness going on. Like there'll probably be some things going on around you which a lot of people would find upsetting, but you are going to be like, okay, well, let's put this positive spin on it. You're going to be the person that they see changing people's perspectives, making people feel better, making the light of a bad situation. So whatever is going on, they just kind of see you as like this very incredible person, someone who takes the lead. Okay, I hope that sort of makes sense. I feel like sometimes like I get tongue tied and like my brain just goes into spitfire and I get like crazy messages or whatever, but basically you're gonna make a strong impression on them and they're gonna kind of like tilt their head and be like, that person's interesting, or that person's, you know, kind of unusual, or something about them stands out. Like that's like their kind of first impression. They had like this peak of curiosity when it comes to you. Okay, hope that makes sense. Pile number 2, technically number 2, or present number silver, but that is basically your spouse's first impression. It's less about like, oh, this person is beautiful, glamorous, etc. More so this person is like, they see you as someone who knows how to take charge, someone who knows how to keep a positive perspective, a positive point of view, someone who a lot of people will get along with and who can do well in multiple environments. Okay, they see you as someone who they could potentially maybe like see pretty much anywhere, in a good, you know, environment, in a bad situation. They're like, I think this person can handle a lot, just the impression that they give off. All right, so that is how I have for you. Pile number 2, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. I do tons of stuff, weekly readings, astrology reports, whatever. If you're interested in any of those occult subjects, just feel free to follow me there. And also you can check out the community post where I post tons of astrology stuff, as well as let you guys know all the updates that are coming. And that is all I have. And I thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye. All right, pile number 3, but technically number 2. Let's get started on your reading. We have the 3 of Cups. We have the 7 of Swords. We have the Queen of Pentacles. And we have the 3 of Wands. Okay, so your spouse's first impression of you, pretty clear to me, and I hope you guys don't mind my nails. They're looking awful. But it's pretty clear to me that your spouse would sort of think of you as someone who's more of like a loner. Like, I think you guys may meet in a very, very, very social situation, just because we have 2 3s here, and 3s sort of represent creativity, putting on a show, like entertainment. It reminds me of like the 5th house in astrology, which is like things you do during your free time, whether that's ice skating, whether that's going to soccer games, whether that's like race car driving, bumper cars. I don't know whatever you guys do during your free time. That's like 3 energy, because it represents that creativity, that fun, that excitement. And so you guys are similar to the last part in the sense that it's a very social environment, but theirs was like a more of a social environment with a purpose. This is more like, oh, I'm just hanging out with my friends, I'm just having some fun. Possibly there's like a party going on, like a birthday party, or who knows, a New Year's Eve party, or like a work party, whatever it is, it's happening, and they see you as being one of those people who are just kind of like in the corner, or like, what's that Alicia Cara song? Is it Alyssa Cara? Where she's just like, I'm sorry that I seem not interested. Where she's like, I'm not really here. What's that song called? You guys know what I'm talking about too, where she's like at a party and she doesn't want to be there, and she's like, oh my God, why am I here? That's how your future spouse will get their first impression of you. They'll see you as someone who doesn't want to be a part of like all the same sort of social environment that other people are in. Maybe you're just not a big like party goer or whatever it is, but they'll kind of see you as someone who is a little bit more laid back, because when I get the Queen of Swords, we have someone who is more like, they're more so like leggings and sweatpants person when they're next to the 7 of Swords. Rather so like someone who's like, oh, I'm an Instagram model, Instagram baddie or something like that. Like, they'll see you as someone who's a little bit more relaxed, someone who is like, I'm like a t-shirt and jeans type of guy, girl, whatever it is. They'll see you as someone who's not as high maintenance, someone who is very super chill and down to earth, someone who is more focused on maybe like self-improvement. Like, they don't see you as being part of like the high life, which is like very like Hollywood, very like I gotta take this picture and look how many followers I have, and look at I want to be a movie star or a rock star or a singer or a rapper. They see you as like someone who's a little bit more low-key, someone who's a little bit more laid back, someone who's like, okay, well, I just kind of want a decent job and like a nice house and like, you know, maybe some kids someday or something like that. Like, they see you as more like that type. And from them, it's like interesting because they're already starting to like kind of picture you. I don't know, picture you like what you're like, what spending time with you would be like, what being around you would be like. They just kind of like go off and like, not really a fantasy, but sort of feel like they're just like, this is what I can picture for this person. This is what I see for this person. They're not over here like fantasizing or anything, but they're just saying, oh, I can kind of see this person being like this. I can kind of see this person being at home, you know, watching some TV. You know, I can see this person sort of playing some video games, or I can see this person just being more laid back and chill. That's the impression that they'll get from you. But they'll also sort of see you as someone who's really successful. They just kind of see you as someone who doesn't, you know, want to brag about it, or someone who's not super materialistic. They just see you as very like a very simple sort of person. Someone who's got like a good head on their shoulder, but also someone who has like this sense of vision. Like, they see you as someone who is a little bit different from the rest, like maybe a cut above the rest, where they see you as someone wanting to express themselves creatively, or someone who's very like an entrepreneur, somebody who's like thinking about the future, someone who is who's focused more so on what they can achieve when they move forward. But they see you as someone who is also waiting for someone to approach them. So I don't know what your gender is, but they just see you more as the type to wait for someone to approach them rather than you to approach anyone else. But yeah, they just kind of, they get that impression of you, and they'll just think that they'll also think that you're single for some reason. They're like, oh yeah, that person's definitely single. And they think that they'll have a shot, okay? They'll think that, oh my God, I definitely have a chance with this person. But they'll think, okay, well, I could possibly have a chance with this person. This person's by themselves. They look very like chill, laid back. Like, they don't look like they'd punch me in the face for talking to them, or something like that. You know, if you're a guy and you're into women, then it's very similar. They'll kind of get that impression that you aren't really like super materialistic and stuff like that, or maybe you aren't like super pressed about work and obsessed about it, but they feel like you still have a plan. You're just more of a laid back type of person. That's like the energy that I'm getting. They also may think that you're just not a person who likes to go to parties. You're not someone who likes to go out and be around a whole bunch of people and, I don't know, dance the night away or something like that. We know whatever people do. They just don't get that impression of you from you, that you're going to like festivals and you're going to bar crawls, or you're going to like experiencing like, what's it called, like restaurant food week or something like that. They don't see you as that type of person. They see you more as like, yeah, you go work, you do some things that you like to do in your spare time, but for the most part, you're chill. Okay, I hope that's clear. That's like really their first impression of you, but they really do think that they want to go and talk to you, and they can kind of just see themselves having a good conversation with you. And I think your spouse is going to like approach you like not as soon as they see you, but like within that time frame. And you know, they're not going to be shy about it. They're not going to feel like you're way above them, or there's not going to be a lack of confidence or something like that. Unlike like the first pile. The first pile is a little bit different. So if you've chosen that, that's interesting that you chose that one as well. But this is just a very like a cool vibe. Like I like this vibe for you guys. Definitely got a lot of creative energy. Something about you stands out, and it's like you're not even trying to stand out. You know what I mean? That's what they feel when they first see you. Okay? So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. I do private readings as well. They start at just $15, but the prices will go up at the end of the year. Unfortunately. And yeah, that is all I have for you guys. And thank you guys for watching. All right, bye. All right, pile number 4, present number blue. Let's get started on your reading, on your what your what your spouse will think of you when they first meet you. Oh, we got the 3 of Swords. You know, I already kind of know what this means. When I usually get the 3 of Swords, it sort of represents, oh, that person must be a heartbreaker. Oh my God, like that's like their first impression, really. I'm not surprised that we pulled the 6 of Wands next. So they just kind of think you're very attractive. And we got the 2 of Pentacles here. I don't know if you guys will just be far away from each other. Maybe you're on one side of the room, or maybe they're another side of the room. 2 of Pentacles can also represent like a difference in cultures, a difference in backgrounds. They kind of feel like you're a little bit different from them in some regard. And then we also have the 4 of Pentacles here. So they're going to be a little bit shy. We have a shy spouse, so similar to pile number 1. We have a lot of shy spouses here who won't approach. But yeah, they'll just think you're a very like good-looking person. They'll kind of feel like either you're in a relationship, or maybe you just got out of one, because they just can't see you as being like single. They kind of feel like there's just like this huge difference between you guys. I don't know, maybe this person feels like they aren't that attractive. Maybe this person feels like they don't have as many friends. They don't look as cool. I don't know. They aren't as talented or something like that. Or you guys are super different, and maybe you guys wouldn't have a lot in common. But something about you, they just kind of feel like you're a little bit different, but they also think that you're different than them, I should say. They also think that you are very like exciting and fun, and that you're very like, there's something about you that's very funny, and you know how to capture a lot of people's attention. They see you as someone who is definitely the center of attention, someone who knows how to like joke around, who knows how to take a joke, but they see your sense of style is more reserved in a way. And not only that, but they kind of see you as someone who, I'm not going to say not generous, they see you as someone who kind of protects their energy. Like you're not just letting anyone into your group or your circle. You're someone who is very like, I'm going to stick with my group and the people I'm with, and I'm just going to do that. Like you just, like I said, you just protect your energy. You're not out here just talking to anyone. That's how they see you in a way. It also kind of reminds me of like when you go to, or if you've ever been to clubs and they have like a VIP section. They kind of see you as the kind of person who would be in that VIP section, who would be like circling themselves sort of away from everyone else, maybe because you want your private time, maybe you just want a table to yourself, you just want to hang out in this section and not have to deal with, you know, lines at a bar, or you know, whatever it is that, for whatever reason that you might have chosen that, maybe you just want some private time, okay? They just kind of see you as being like exclusive, you know what I mean? They just see you as not really, they don't see you as like an everyday average sort of person. They see you as someone who's just got that star potential, got that star power, okay? They just see you as someone who really, who has a sense of confidence about them and an aura about them which commands attention, okay? If that makes sense. That's how they're perceiving you. Like that's their first impression. You could also be in like some sort of leadership position. You could also be like, maybe like I said before, from a different cultural background, a different country, you could just be a different gender, and they're just like, oh, they're just acknowledging that you are a different gender, okay? But they definitely see you as someone who they they feel like they need to be a little bit shy with approaching. Like they gotta figure out like a way to approach you where you don't feel like guarded, okay? It's like they feel like they've got to be a little bit more calculated in that way. They think maybe the best way to get to you may be to make you laugh or something like that. They feel like you wouldn't take well to someone just like casually going up to them and just start talking. They feel like there needs to be some sort of foundation, some sort of easy way in, some sort of common ground is what I'm saying. Like they want to be able to bring up a subject that they see that you may be interested, and they're like, okay, that's my in. That's how I'm going to get in. But definitely, this is definitely a spouse who is going to take their time with getting to know you first before they kind of hop into that, I'm not going to say relationship, but into like spending more time with you and trying to get to know you. They just feel like they need to take their time, because when we have the Four of Pentacles, that's someone who just doesn't give in easily. They don't try new things. They don't do anything new. They kind of just stay in one place and stick with that. And I think your spouse is coming out of a place of their life where they're trying to get out of those boundaries because they're so used to being in their little box. But then they see that you're someone who's outside of it and they want to actually approach you. They're just trying to figure out, well, how do I go about doing that? Like, how do I get to know this person? So they have a very positive first impression of you. They just kind of really think that you're super attractive person, someone who is very accomplished. Like you come off like, I don't know what it is, but they just really think that you come off as some kind of, I'm not gonna say diva or divas. I don't know what do you call male divas? I don't know. But I'm not gonna say that you come off like some sort of diva or anything, or divo or whatever. It's just that they see you as someone who really only deals with a certain type of people, okay? Like you have your circle and you stick with it. I don't know why they see you that way, but it could just be like, oh, I see that this person only talks to lawyers and they only hang out with lawyers. Like everyone they're surrounded by is a lawyer, and I'm different because I'm an engineer. I don't know. It could literally be like something like that, or it could just be like, oh, I see this person looks a little bit like more artistic. Like maybe you have like colored dyed hair or something like that. And maybe all your friends have a very like quirky sense of fashion, all right? And so they're like, okay, they probably wouldn't want to talk to me because I'm dressing very like plain and like normal. I just have on like a white t-shirt and jeans. Like they're probably just like not even interested in talking to me or something like that. They just kind of see like a difference between you guys, okay? At least a physical difference, where they're just like, oh, I don't know if they would be interested in me. They're just gonna be unsure about it, okay? And they don't want to have to deal with being rejected. That's like your spouse is gonna be very concerned about being rejected, and they're gonna be like, I'm gonna be rejected because I'm look too different, or I seem too different than them. All right, so but they do have a positive first impression of you, okay? They just think that you're really good looking and sharp and just, you know, amazing. And just they're like, yeah, they're like everyone, they're like, they think a lot of people like you basically. But yeah, that's all I have for you, pile number, I think we're on 4. And don't forget to follow, subscribe, as well as get a private reading. And I will talk to you guys next week. And we'll do another reading then. And it'll be amazing. And I hope you'll like it. So see you then. Bye. Last but not least, pile number 3, which is really pile number 5. So let's get started on your reading, on what your spouse will think of you when you guys first meet. We have the 8 of Wands, we have Justice, we have the 9 of Swords, and we have the Empress. Wow, okay. Okay. So they'll find you to be like, this is so strange. Okay, let's start with the Empress here, because we know right away when we have the Empress, if this is like a guy asking about like a girl, or like a girl asking about a guy and what he's first thinking, then he's gonna think that you're pretty amazing and that you come off as being the type that they could see themselves being with long term, which makes sense because this is your future spouse. And then when we have Justice, It's kind of like, I don't know if some of you guys have already met your future spouse, because when I deal with justice, justice represents a pattern of behavior. So when we have a pattern of behavior, it's like they'd have to know you to know there was some sort of pattern of behavior, right? So it's just a bit strange that it came up for this, but it could just literally mean like justice. I want to go to the courthouse. Like, I got to get with this person right away. And then the Nine of Swords could be just saying I'm fighting off any obstacles. But for some of you guys, it may be like, I've already met this, like you've already met your spouse, and they're just kind of just saying that they would really like to speed things along and, you know, get right to it. Okay. But they feel like there's a lot of things they got to go through first, whether that's getting to know you better, whether that's like convincing you that they're the one for you, whether that's like you guys reaching some deeper level in your relationship or not. But it's just like, for those who've already kind of met them, it's like they just want to marry you. Like, they just don't know what else to say. Like with Justice and the Empress in the same reading, it's like a courthouse and a bride. You know what I mean? Knight of Swords would just be like a lot of anxious energy, kind of saying like, I hope things work out. But like you know, people are usually anxious on wedding days and stuff. And the Eight of Wands to me is just representing a lot of different messages. So when your spouse, for the people who have not met their spouse, when your spouse first sees you, they'll want to talk to you immediately, or they'll get the impression that you're a very talkative person, or you're a very chatty person, or you're the type of person who knows a lot of people, because when we have the Eight of Wands, we have someone who is sending a lot of messages, okay? And that could literally mean like, maybe you guys meet on some sort of app. Maybe you guys, this person, your spouse slides in your DMs and you guys are messaging each other back and forth. So they're like, oh, I gotta message this person, and okay, now we're messaging each other. And then Justice is over here. Basically, you come off as someone who's very serious about their business and who wants to be very like professional. I don't know, like whenever I get the Justice card for someone, like of what someone thinks of someone, it's usually they think they're a very fair person. I wouldn't say they think they're like very warm and cuddly, but they think that this person does their job and does it well and gets to it and does nothing more or less. And they set these boundaries for themselves. And you know what I mean? There's someone who respects themselves, someone who doesn't allow people to just cross and break their boundaries, somebody who doesn't really bend to the will of others. They set their own rules for themselves and they stick with them. It's like a very like structured sort of energy. And then we have the Nine of Swords. We have someone who, they may believe that you are coming off very like anxious or nervous, or someone who just at a point in their life where they have so much to do that they're a little bit stressed out. And so maybe that's why you're coming off very like professional and duty bound, because you just have a lot of things to do. So you're just like, I've got to focus on getting these tasks done at hand that are stressing me out. But for the most part, this person's just going to think you're a very beautiful and lovely person who has a lot on their mind, and has a lot of things that they need to do. Like, you're just a very, I have to do things person. I don't know. You're a very busy person to them. That's how they'll see you. Either that, sometimes they get the Eight of Wands, meaning someone who's physically active. But in this case, I kind of feel like it's more like they see you buzzing about, maybe on their phone a lot, maybe someone who's taking a lot of calls, maybe someone who talks to a lot of different people, not in like romantically, just generally to get whatever you need done, or who's just generally just very social. When we have Justice here, they just kind of see you as someone in charge of something. I don't really even know if you are in a position of authority, but like it could literally just be like, oh, you're in charge of your own life, okay? Like, you make the rules for yourself and you're not like dependent on someone else or something like that. When we have the Nine of Swords here, like I said, you come off like you've got a lot of stress and you got a lot of worries, and something about you will make them nervous. But I think they don't have an issue with approaching you. I know a few piles did. They'll kind of like come up to you right away because they'll just find you to be very astounding. Like for them, it's like love at first sight. This is like my love at first sight pile. It's like saying, how can I get to this person? How can I be with a person like this? How can I get this person to sort of notice me, see me, to consider me? Because they kind of feel like for you, like if someone doesn't, I wouldn't say cross off their checklist, but if someone doesn't meet their standards, then you're not going to deal with them. And you're just going to be like this Nine of Swords and cutting people away and be like, nope, nope, can't do it. So they're going to be like, okay, how can I get this person to, how can I meet this person's standards to be with them? Like that's like their sort of way of thinking when they first meet you. But yeah, this is a thing if you're like attracted to someone right away and you don't want to waste any time, okay? Your spouse is just going to be like, you know, ding, found her or found him. You know, it's just very obvious to me, okay? So that is really all I have for you, pile number 5. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, or pile number 3, whatever you want to call yourself. And don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. And like really your spouse is just going to really, really like you. Okay. I really don't know how else to say that, especially when we have Venus here, which is the Empress embodiment of Venus. It's just saying that this person just sees you as someone they want to marry, especially when we have Justice representing Libra. Like which is the sign of like a spouse and marriage. Okay. They just right away know that you are the one for them. Oh, that's like, it's pretty amazing, okay, honestly. But for this last pile, I just want to thank you guys for watching, and feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow me at Astro_Tarot Research. And as always, information for private readings in the description box below. They start at just $15. Don't forget to get one, as the prices will go up at the end of the year. And that is all I have for you guys. And I will hope to see you next time. And that's all. Bye.